It's Warped Rationale with Ben and Eric. I'm Ben.
I'm Eric. What up?
God, you're just so fucking sexy about that posing, man. Every time, it's so good.
I can't help it. I get excited when we're starting, so I'm just like, oh,
this gets me hyped up, man. I'm all pumped now too.
Okay, all right,
lay it on me, man.
So, what if every time you killed something, and I mean, of course, we don't kill things on purpose. You know, you may hit a squirrel or something, or a bird may hit your... I mean, you know.
You had mentioned like a bug earlier when you brought this up.
Yeah, like a bug that hits your car as you're going. So what if every time you killed something like that, it wound up on your wall in a taxidermied state?
Yeah.
As like a trophy. Like maybe in a case or something. I don't know. Maybe nice. It's going to look nice. It's not going to look like, you know, you did it. It's going to look like a professional taxidermist got whatever you killed. I mean, he does it so well that even if it's like a little bug, it's on your wall.
I mean, I wonder whether or not there would even be enough room in your entire house for the number of bugs that have been killed that you didn't even know about.
Let's break it down, because I thought about that too. Let's break it down to the type of bug.
Okay.
It's not like every one of that.
Okay, so you've got an example of the type of thing, but you're not going to have every June bug, just a June bug.
Just a June bug.
Okay.
That was, that you killed. It is the one you killed. It is a little bit mangled.
You had me sweating, man, because I used to live in Indiana, and they had cornfields covered in these ladybugs.
Yeah.
I think they were supposed to be potato bugs, but I never got a clear answer on what they were.
Right.
But they would, once the fields were cut down, they would just flood the houses in the surrounding area.
Oh,
so
no.
I would have, no kidding, thousands of them just show up in my room one day.
Oh, God.
And I would have to try to find anything I could do to make them go away.
Man.
It was terrible. So if we were going to have each and every one, I would have an entire galaxy of little faces asking why. And I don't want to deal with that, for sure, man.
So we'll break it down to types, because there's a bunch of different types of bugs, and you know, you've killed a ton just driving.
But it'll be recognizable. The first one, like say you hit a squirrel with a white stripe, the first one you get will be that squirrel with the white stripe. Will be that
squirrel, yeah.
So here's a question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Based on what you had told me earlier, because I mean, as an answer to that, I would just be covered in guilt my entire life. I've had a possum or two.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Some people don't like possums. I happen to think that they're okay. None of them have ever hurt me.
Right.
So I don't want to see one just staring at me like, I had a family, I was foraging. Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, man.
That's real sad.
I've hit a squirrel before. I've also hit birds before.
Yeah.
That just flew into me.
So here's the question. Does it have to be... in the example you were saying, does it have to be something that you directly killed? You caused the impact that kills off.
You caused the death of this thing, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, what if, Eric, when you come home, you discover that it's things that you have, not by your choice, not by something you did, maybe nothing you've even seen, but you have indirectly... Because you walk through your door and there's just a guy's head on your wall looking at you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right? Like, not anything you actually did, but like, you know, there's that whole thing where it's like, man, if I hadn't gone to that party, I wouldn't have met that girl and we wouldn't have gotten married. Yeah, and you wouldn't have had a kid who killed all those people that time.
Right.
So, do you think that anybody would be able to have a wall without a human head on it? Because we're all making choices that lead to the choices other people make. Eventually, if you go far enough back in a serial killer's life, surely there was somebody who made a decision that caused that person to exist, at least, if not drove them to be serial killers. And I don't know how sensitive this would be, but let's just say that you're the person, if you're their parents, you get the heads on your wall.
Oh
no. Oh, that'd be bad. Could other people see what you did? So you'd have to explain the heads.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody comes over, you're gonna have to explain.
Oh, what if they came over and like and you had like there's no control over it. But I was thinking, what if it's just like there's a woman's head, there's a black guy's head, and there's like a Chinese person's head.
Oh, God.
And you're like, okay, look.
This is a funny story.
I know
promise.
how this looks, but I'm not racist and I don't hate women.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, let me tell you how.
Dear God.
And then you get married. What if you get married? Like, say that you live in your own place with all of your collected heads.
Yeah, married transfers.
And then, like, yeah, you put their heads.
What if it adds like some
it's like
new
sharing
heads to
fucking
your wall?
Pokemon. Yeah, man, you'd get new heads.
You get new heads on your wall.
Oh my God, it would be a mess, man. It would be a mess in minutes. And I mean, if depending on how far the proximity goes, at a certain point, it would just your house would just be full.
Yeah,
You would
wouldn't have
no
any
choice.
wall space.
Oh, you'd just be sitting there on the toilet trying to poop,
And
and
there's-
there's just a face.
There's this dude.
There's just somebody like,
And it's all messed up the way it was when you killed him. So
oh
like,
no. But okay, say that you are a serial killer, right?
Okay.
Okay, so all the faces that you've got, but in your obsessive compulsion, because it's who you indirectly kill too. So like, say that one of the people you killed, their kid is driven crazy by having seen Eric, their parents, killed in front of them, and they go and kill people, and so you're sitting there and you're like, I did him, I did him, I did him. Who the fuck is that?
Who is that?
I had a nice wall going, and now little Jimmy McGillicuddy went and killed somebody, and now my whole thing's messed up.
Right. Now your whole thing's messed up.
Being a serial killer is even worse than it used
I was
to be,
about
man.
to say.
That used to be a sweet gig before the heads.
Well, see, the thing is that another thing that's interesting for me that I've just thought about is
Yeah.
like I'll see bugs sometimes
Uh-huh.
and be like, "Fuck you," and just like it's dead, it's dead, and it's just because it's like sometimes. But see, on the flip side, like sometimes I'll see a bug and be like, like I walked out of my house today, saw some ants, and I was like,
Yeah.
you're fine. You're not going that close to the house. It's gonna be all right.
Uh-huh.
But it's like.
How much of that do you think has to do with the fact that there's 70,000 of them and killing any won't mean anything? Because I noticed that too. I thought, like, if you see a roach, you kill the roach. If you see 50 roaches, you leave.
Yeah, you're just gone.
You don't bother.
Never mind. It's
You cannot do enough to their numbers to make it matter. Okay, anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking about it because sometimes I think it would make you think twice about just being like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I hadn't killed a cricket. There's not a cricket on my wall yet. There's a cricket.
Let's just let
Let's just let it go.
We don't want to do that. This is too much.
Just never mind."
Yeah. Oh.
What if you had to capture the moment of like, let's say you hit a deer and deers
Yeah.
really mess up your car. You've got this mangled, terrified deer face hanging on your wall.
See, that worries me, man.
Yeah,
because
that's
when it comes
terrifying.
to the kind of things that can have happen in an accident, can you imagine? It's already bad enough to be a soldier who had to go into an actual battle.
Right.
But say that you were a World War II vet.
Man, I didn't even think about like military.
And there's just shocked German faces covered in blood all over your house. That would be a wreck.
That's a nightmare.
How could you even carry on with your life? And for what it's worth, I don't want to get all PC in here. I don't want to get all we need to take care of our fellow man. No, maybe we should take care of our fellow man. But if you are a person who's had to do all that stuff, we're basically just describing what it is to come
I
back
was
with a
just about
guilty
to
conscience.
say, yeah.
And having to deal with what you've done. But yeah, if everybody just had friggin' faces on their wall, I
Yeah,
don't know,
man.
do you think we prescribe more antidepressants?
Maybe so.
Probably try to start dealing
I think
with that.
we would have less company too.
Yeah.
You would have to.
A lot more public meetups, you think?
I think you would have to really trust somebody before you let them into your house.
What if you just in the kitchen like it would become like a home kind of like it would just be another thing. Like when you see advice on how to make a mantle look better, you don't look at that and think, "Oh, that's crazy."
Right.
So eventually it would like Martha Stewart would be like, "Use that shrieking face as a nutmeg stand." Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But can you just imagine, like, you got 4 heads lined up on the wall, like this one's oregano, this one is my rosemary,
Right.
And
Yeah.
I've found a way to make this work for me.
You just make a little shelf to put on top of them that like sits on them.
If it happens, I'm finding that with our what ifs, for the most part, if it happens to everybody, there's a way around it.
Yeah.
If it happens to just you, it's a nightmare. what if you were the only person who
Oh
had this?
man, no.
That's hard.
Can't do
That's
that.
too much. There's nothing you really
how do you
can't
explain
manage.
this? Yeah.
You would just have to, I don't know, not. What if
You wouldn't have any friends. You would have one or two
You would have
people.
to not have anybody come over.
You couldn't be bringing people out. You couldn't,
No.
like, let's say you're a single person and one night stands are your thing, that's over.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they come in and they see, Hobo Jim that
Yeah.
they saw down the street.
You didn't give him a
that you-
nickel and he died.
He died from it because he died that day.
Yeah.
Or like you slammed your door too hard and he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Like, something crazy. They're not in the boning mood anymore.
No, that's true. That
The
does
bone
take
zone
you.
is officially closed.
That is going to be a libido killer for sure.
It's over, man.
And then when they leave, you turn around and you look at your living room wall, and there's a little framed picture of their libido.
Just right there on your wall.
That's what you did.
With their name. That's your fault.
That's what you did. Oh my god.
I think that's the worst part. I mean, to add it's already crappy.
Yeah.
Let's add the layer of if it can talk.
Oh man. Because it
It's
would
like,
be
why'd you do what you did?
it would be bad for the obvious reasons, but when you said that, the first thing I thought, we'll go back to that serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, all the heads have made friends with
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
Like, you know what? You may be from another place, and you may be from a completely different kind of lifestyle.
But I like you.
Maybe we disagree on a lot of things, but this dick killed us.
Exactly.
So we're pals,
Exactly.
and we're and you can't kill them again.
No,
and you can't
can't
take them down.
No, you can't
Absolutely
remove them.
not.
Yeah, that was the rule I didn't say. But yeah, you can't remove them. You can't just take them down. They're there.
They're definitely magic.
They're there.
There's some kind of curse from God just to remind you that you need to be careful.
That you're a killer.
What I like is the idea that they stay at home. I think that they would stay at
They
home.
do. They don't. Yeah.
You can go out, you can do what you need to do. But say that you decide, I'm never going back home. You're sitting in your car, I'm never ever going to go back home. The instant you think it, head on the dash.
There it is. That's your fault.
Boom.
Yeah.
As many as can fit, and they'll be angry that the other heads aren't there.
Yeah. They'll be mad at you for taking their friends away. Yeah.
Oh no. Do you think you could cover them with sheets?
No.
I think you could put something up in front of them, but I think as soon as you were to build like another wall,
Okay.
I think as soon as you closed that wall off, that would be the instant that the new
They
wall,
shift
they
over.
just move straight up.
Yeah.
But if you left a little bit of space, I feel like there may be a way to game this system. I don't know. They have to be at least technically visible.
Yeah, they've got to be visible somehow.
And if they can speak, then you'd hear them through the wall.
You'd hear them,
anyway.
yeah. Like you put up a wall, like let's say you put them behind a bookshelf, because that's what I was thinking. Like you make a bookshelf and you got them behind it or whatever. They'd be like, I'm still back here. You can't get rid of this.
Can't get rid of your guilt,
You
Johnny.
still have to live with the fact that you killed me. I love it because what if you...
Oh no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it should be fine.
But yeah, it's like I love it because it's like I wonder how many people. It also brings up the question of how many people or things did you accidentally kill?
Yeah.
Like, because I think I would come home some days from work or something,
Yeah.
and be like, "What? When did that get there?"
Yeah, no, like there's a new guy. You come in and you find Janet, who you've appointed the secretary of all the heads. You're like, who's the fucking new guy?
Who's the new one?
Wait, I don't know.
Just appeared. I don't know.
He's here.
Stop killing people.
Maybe you should try to be a little more careful.
I think that would be terrifying, even if it was just like a squirrel or something.
I gotta admit, I'm having a bit of an existential crisis over here.
Okay.
As I started to think about, like, because this comes way down to, like, at this point, we will all be discussing, like, what is a timeline? What are we doing to change the future in a way that, you know, what decision did you make today that set off the train of things that happened that got Leonard run over with a dump truck?
Yeah,
He didn't do anything. And then you're like, I didn't do anything either. And I mean, one day, God, your head could be on somebody's wall.
Yeah.
Are the heads, are they representations of people, or are they the people?
That was the thing I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because at first I was like, they got to be representations
I
of
think
the person's like
probably-
last, you know.
They would have to be almost, because say that me and you go somewhere together and we're like, well, we were going to go to Best Buy, but screw it. Let's go get a burger. Okay. And then we cause the wreck that kills 8 people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You may be able to tie it to whoever was driving. But it could come back to like maybe just a shared decision.
It would be a shared thing. Yeah, I would think.
So then, like, you get the heads on Thursdays and Fridays, and I get them
Yeah.
Saturday through Tuesday, and then we just kind of trade off.
It's like a toy that we just bought together.
Yeah.
It's like, you get it on the weekends.
With super rare comic. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
It would be too confusing.
This is a nightmare world. Dude, I like how you mentioned you've got somebody to manage the heads.
At a certain point, you would have to get Joe's apartment about the whole thing
Yeah.
and just start interacting with them.
Exactly.
If they can talk, then you, I mean, there's no way not to. They'll talk to you.
Yeah.
They can't do anything else. They'll remind you repeatedly that they cannot leave. So it's like, okay, I guess we have to have another community vote on what we're going to watch.
Right.
Fuck all of you.
Right. I was just about to say, can they watch like TV shows with you? I mean, at least you never be alone.
With people who resent you for having killed
People
them.
that hate you.
Yeah. You could never be alone with people that hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think it would be the first thing I thought was, okay, well then I'll put on, it's kind of demeaning because now I'm treating them like dogs. I'll put on the TV when I leave.
Turn it on the radio for some noise while you're gone.
I don't want them to get scared of the thunder.
I did the same thing for my dog when I left today. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I just turn on this radio for you.
And they'd know, and they'd be angry.
Yeah, they'd be like, what'd you do that for?
Well, because I don't want you to be lonely. Oh, well, fuck you. Well, then do you want me to turn it off? No. I just want you to feel bad that you did it.
Everybody would be so terrible.
It would be the worst,
But it would be
man.
understandably, though, you know.
Oh, and yeah,
you
no.
killed them.
I absolutely get it. I just wish we weren't doing this. That's fine. We all understand.
Man, you just really couldn't.
I was thinking, well, okay, I'll just put on whatever, and then I'll go out and I'll do what I want to do, in the car. But I think as soon as you roll over, more minutes in the car than in the house in a given day,
You're done.
that becomes your new residence, and
You're
it's like,
done.
here you go.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to spend as much time in your car.
No, probably not.
For sure.
Because whatever is causing this wants you to have to live with it.
Here's the thing, though. Let's say you don't have a lot of them. I mean, you can go to a different room. They're not going to transfer rooms. They're
That's
all
true.
going to be in that one area. You don't get to pick where they show up, but they're going to show up somewhere.
Well, I don't know how many. There's no way to really gauge it, but it feels like from day to day, I don't make a lot of choices that set off. I can think of some things that I decided
Right.
that ended up, me getting married to my wife. That only happened because I went and got a job at this one Taco Bell.
Right.
That's the only reason. And really, it's not that I got a job there. It's that I came back the second time. I had already come and gone to the place. Going back a second time led to me meeting the guy who had started dating the girl, who knew the wife, who put us together.
Exactly.
That's a long chain for just being like, I guess I could take $7.25 an hour and free tacos.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, I got you.
I wouldn't even be, I probably wouldn't even know you if I hadn't gone and worked at that restaurant. And that's a million years removed from that. So
That's true.
I don't know what the sensitivity on this thing should have to be.
I don't either.
Like only if your decision would make somebody die in the next year or so, or the next day, the next week.
Right.
If it's like the next month, there's a chance that you will have a fairly minimum number of heads.
Yeah, yeah.
But even if it is only the people who die in the next month, you don't just keep them for a month. So over the course of a lifetime, you would accumulate quite a many talking heads.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just a rip. And I mean, they would have to be representations because say that we spark off events, that leads to like a serial killer. Not a serial killer really is the point, but like somebody who decided, I'm going to kill this person. Okay, they get the head.
Yeah.
They decided to do it. But I created the world where they get the head. And, really, the only reason that this came into it was that I just wanted to see your reaction when I say you walk in and there's a face. So that's why all this talk about, like indirect causation.
Can't do that and it talks. So it's like you walk in, it's like, welcome home, fucker.
I really don't like the idea of that. I think it would be better to have it to come home and have it be pissed at you than come home and neither of you know what's going on.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would rather it be mad than be like, where am I?
Help me, please.
I'm stuck here. I'm just a head.
I can't feel all of me. God, that would be a hellish existence. Even if it's not the real person,
I was about to
that's
say.
still bad.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's rough.
What if you fell in love with one, Eric?
I guess.
What if you fell in love with a beautiful girl head?
At least I'm getting a lot of blowjobs.
All right, here we go. Here we go now. Gonna take it down. It's the end of the show. What's going on, folks? Yes, the end of the mother show. End of the show. Yes, we Jesus alone. I want to take a ride in your Camaro. Yeah. End of the show. End of the show. Yeah.
Got it! Got it, we're printing!
God, print money.
Printing some damn money!
Print it.
That's gold!